weren't diligent. Not only weren't diligent, they were dishonest.
Yes.
Right. I think you don't.
Yes, all that's important. But I'm really concerned, the example that he said. If they continue to let an individual get away, hold that blood evidence, withheld that blood evidence, I think that individual should be accountable for his actions. The attorney, a district, I don't know who and what it is, what you call it, but he should be accountable for withholding that blood evidence. Knowing that could have cleared that man 14 years, he is the one. I don't care about the money. I don't care about none of that. Just that he holds that evidence and kept that man locked down.
Wanda, you and I are shoulder to shoulder on that one. I agree with you absolutely and completely. And I want to thank you for calling Legal Help Live, and thank you for expressing yourself. You're very eloquent, and very true.
I'll put my shoulder next to you, too, as well.
Thank you. Thank you for accepting my call.
Okay, thank you again, Wanda. Thanks for calling Legal Help Live. Back to the phones. Wolf, can we pick up line 2 and talk to Ruth? Okay.
Hello?
Ruth, you're calling from Santa Monica?
Yes.
How are you?
I can hear you on the phone and also on the TV.
Well, let's do this. Let's turn. It is, isn't it? Turn the sound down on the television, and then we can have a more normal conversation.
Okay. It's all echoing through the phone. Is it all right now?
I'm fine.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. What's up, Ruth?
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
I lived here 30 years in this building. It became a Torca conversion just before the earthquake. Most of the tenants were gone because of the earthquake. I'm one of the few remaining tenants. Everybody else owned condominium apartments.
Okay.
Am I clear?
So far, was this...
Now, talk a little louder.
No. Which earthquake was this?
The Northridge quake.
Okay, 1994 then.
The big one.
Yeah, that was big.
Okay. So, I'm at a loss for what my rights are. The people upstairs put in a wood floor. Now, this is a simple old building, not built for wood floors. We always had carpeting. They put in a wood floor, and they don't want a carpet or put down any heavy rugs.
All right.
Which makes it very noisy for me. And the other thing that happened was, at the time of the conversion, they had to put in a an option for washing machines. You can't have condominiums without that. So they put them in the bedroom closets. So if somebody comes in late at night and decides to do laundry,
right,
wakes me up.
Right.
Walking around with high heels, wakes me up. They're nice people. They're not wild, young women. I don't know what my rights are. It's really a problem. They don't much sleep.
Yeah, and I assume that you want to stay there. You just want it quiet.
There's no question about it. I want to stay here.
Okay. Have you done anything? Have you taken any steps at all?
I just asked them. I think in 3 years I've probably spoken to them 3 times. I don't nag them. I don't want to nag them.
Okay.
I asked the owner of my unit to do something. He said it's not his business.
Okay. All right, and you're in the city of Santa Monica.
Yeah.
And you're still renting, but these are now converted into condos. Is that right?
Right. That's it. It was a Torca conversion. Do you know what that is?
I know that you went from apartment to condominiums, and now I assume that, and I understand. Correct? You're going to know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're no longer under the rent control board.
Oh no, you are. That was the only reason we agreed to sign it. Everybody had to sign.
Oh, okay.
We would be protected in every way.
Okay.
Those of us who remain.
Okay, so you agreed that the rent control board would remain in a supervisorial capacity over everybody at the condos. Is that right?
No, it's only the tenants.
Oh, that's what I meant. Okay. Okay. All right. Ryan, you're on. What can she do?
Well, first, I would just make it simple, and you should speak with your neighbors. If they seem friendly, you haven't had much of a relationship with them, before you start any type of process with a lawsuit or litigation or legal rights, the easiest way to work things out is just person-to-person, face-to-face. You seem like a sweet enough, nice enough lady on the phone. I'm sure if you were to talk to them, you might have a good chance of just explaining to them certain activities that they do, although it's maybe in their legal rights to do it, if they just didn't do it, to make your life a little bit better, a little bit easier. High heels probably can be avoided on a hardwood floor. Using a washing machine at night or early in the morning can probably be avoided. And the easiest way around these things, before you get down any type of legal lawsuits, is just to talk to your neighbor. That would be where I would.
I'm asking you what my rights are. I, of course, have done that.
Right. Well, I thought I heard that you had talked to them 3 times in 3 years. I would do a couple. I don't know.
I'm afraid of it.
Okay. Well, that's different.
I don't know because I don't know what my rights are.
Okay. I'm glad you've called, and that sheds a slightly different light on the situation. You could seek legal counsel because there may be a nuisance suit. You have a right to the quiet enjoyment of your residence. I might, if I were you, seek local counsel, someone who's familiar with landlord-tenant rights and real property rights. I would do that. Your knowing what your legal rights are in this particular case, in part, that's going to depend upon the documents that you signed and everybody else signed. It's going to depend in part upon your lease. So I would have a lawyer read those documents, become familiar with them, and interpret them for you. In addition to that, it sounds like you still have recourse through the Rent Control Board. You have a right to not be awakened in the middle of the night by the washing machine, and you have a right to be able to go to sleep when you want to and enjoy your premises without having footfalls echo through your apartment from above because your neighbors above you put in a wood floor. You have those rights as well. Ultimately, you could conceivably have a nuisance lawsuit because you're being deprived of the quiet enjoyment of your residence due to the actions of the people who live above you. You could possibly file a lawsuit against them. In addition to that nuisance lawsuit, if you want to restrict the damages to $7,500, and I'll explain a little bit more in a moment, you could go to small claims court. You could file a lawsuit right here in Santa Monica, and you could express yourself to a judge and tell the judge that because of what these people have done in structurally converting their condo, apartment/condo, you're suffering as a result of that. If that's worth $7,500 to you now, you could, or less, you could conceivably go to small claims court. If you win in small claims court, it's possible that if the nuisance keeps going on, you could file again sometime in the future. Although I would think that your neighbors above you, if you prevail in small claims court for $7,500 or even $5,000, whatever the figure is, they're probably going to figure out, we shouldn't be doing this. We've got to do those things necessary to make sure that our neighbor below enjoys the quiet enjoyment of her residence. You got that down?
I've got that down. How could I, and I appreciate it, how could I find out? Oh, I did, by the way, 2 years or 3 years ago, the current resident did not put the floor in. The prior resident put the floor in.
Oh,
the current
okay.
resident bought it because they liked that floor.
Okay, but that's
want the dust.
That's interesting. We're going to have to take a break. So I want you to stay on hold. We'll come back and we'll finish up with you. Or if you hang up, we'll answer that question. You just keep the TV on and we'll answer it after you've hung up.
I'm not going to hang up.
Okay, good enough. When we come back from our break, folks, you can call us at 1-800-405-4222. First, we'll be answering Ruth's follow-up question, and then we'll be answering your questions. Again, toll-free, 1-800-405-4222, Legal Help Live, and we'll see you in a moment.